There you go. Got it.
All right.
Now, let me see. I'm gonna turn this phone off.
All right.
Okay, I hear you. Got the volume here. Now, whoever's hosting is gonna have control, which would be good because if Bag gets on, we might talk about some things that the public don't need to know. He says.
Yeah, because I see this button on the side that says you are a moderated video call. This call is running an app that gives you are in a moderated video call. This video call is running an app that gives you gives the moderator the ability to control your audio video settings during the call, such as turning your camera on or off. The moderator also has the ability to eject you from the call. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Screen share. So I can still share my screen.
Okay, so I can share controls with you, or I can just eject. Let's see.
Can you see my screen now? Or can you see me?
I see your screen now.
All right, so now turn this off. And then I have my messages right here, so some people can just talk in the message room or the chat room. So that's cool.
I just turned your camera off. I just turned it back on. It's kind of cool. I got power.
Let me see if I can get Antoine.
So you still thinking about cutting your hair off?
I was never thinking about cutting my hair off.
I thought you were talking about if it got, then you would go ahead and let it go. Come on over to the brown side.
Nah. You wish you had a little bit of peach fuzz to play with on top of your head, don't you?
No, I get peach fuzz. It's just I get real hair right here, and the peach fuzz goes all the way back here, and it just looks weird.
Yeah, this is mostly dye, but it works.
Are you calling that?
But yeah, I'm calling Antoine.
Yeah, call Antoine and have him log into iPad for Dad, so that he'll be.
Hey, Antoine. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. All right, listen. This is what I want to do, man. You got your camera on your phone. You remember how you did the Google Hangout before? All right, Uncle Rodney's getting ready to send you a link. All right, go ahead, accept that link. I want you to set it up and then give it to Granddad. We'll let you talk too, but give it to Granddad so we can do this chat real quick.
What's his email?
It's a Cool Ant, new Cool Ant, NEWCOOLANT at iCloud.com.
All right, Antoine Lewis. There we go.
He's going to call you via Google.
I wonder what's going to happen if I stop this broadcast. If it's going to stop the whole thing, or if it's just going to take me off the air for a little bit. I'm not going to do it till we're done. We'll figure that out some other time. So we got to remember, you go into the Creator Studio under live stream, you click on event and set up a new event. That's how you get everybody in at one time. Otherwise, I think if you live stream, you're just shooting a picture with your own camera.
Showcase button. I don't know what it is, though.
Huh?
Hit the showcase button and it says opening.
On the YouTube?
No, showcase on Google Hangouts.
I've never seen that.
Q&A on the side. It has a moderate control room.
Show me your screen.
This showcase button right here.
Mine doesn't have that. Mine just has a control room.
Or is that Antoine?
Yep.
Oh, where's Big K? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so mine only has this little thing right here, the control room and the cameraman, screen share, and then chat.
Yeah, they were trying. Hey, son, how are you?
Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Oh, wait, what happened? Where'd you go?
I think when you were talking, let me take my screen share off.
Wait.
Can you see me now?
Wait a minute, I'm putting my camera. Okay, now I see Rodney, yes. And I see Antoine too.
Okay.
How are you? Say hi to your
They're
sister.
both together?
Mhm.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how we
Hey,
doing?
sis, what's happening?
Live to YouTube right now. So,
Oh, cool. That's
say hi to the
cool.
world.
Okay, Connor got it.
What's up, Connor?
Who do you see, Connor?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Connor. Who am I? Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You know who I am too.
He's waking up to life.
Okay. Okay, it's two. Yeah, you know your father's sick. Last time I went up there a couple hours ago, he had a fever. I gave him some, gave him some dinner and then gave him a glass of tea. And when I told him I'd come back again, I'd give him some aspirin. He's really hot. He's coming. He's got that, I guess, that next round of flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let Antoine take the phone up here. But if he doesn't want to wake up, I just want to let you guys know that's why.
Okay.
Y'all having a meeting right now?
We're just gonna talk some. We're on YouTube right now. So we had, last time we weren't able to stream it to YouTube. Now we're streaming to YouTube.
Oh,
yeah. Last time we weren't even able to record it. We were trying to record it, just wasn't working out.
Come back here, Connor. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let Antoine take it up. I see live. Does that mean somebody watching us too?
They could be.
They can. I don't have a whole lot of viewers. If you look down in the corner, I have 0 viewers right now because I don't have a lot of subscribers to my channel just yet. Hopefully I can build that up and change that.
Well, or you can set them to private also. So we can set it to only people in the family can see it, or we can share the link, or we can just have it where nobody can see it unless we give them permission. So
yeah, my family could always subscribe to my channel. That would be nice.
That would be nice. Knowledge is a good thing. And you got a big family. You're right. Do you have to pay something when you subscribe?
No, it's free.
Oh, well,
and you get to be entertained by me.
For sure. Then we should be looking and subscribing right now.
Guess what?
Okay.
I'm an MBA.
Come with your phone, huh?
I got an MBA. I don't play. I got an MBA.
That's right. That's right. Use it. Antoine about to get his too, aren't you, Antoine?
We'll see. I'm trying some different things. I think I might try going to dentistry.
Oh, another one?
You might do dentistry.
Oh, dentistry. Yeah, well, that's good. That's
good.
Get
you new partials. He'll hook you up.
That's
Put
right.
some implants in there.
I want implants. I'm telling you now. Okay, here you go. Wait a minute. I'm going to let him take this up to Rod. Okay. I love you guys.
Love you too, Mom.
All right. Antoine.
I should. What does the showcase button do?
Huh? Here you go, big guy.
Coming up, we have breaking news, which is actually
hello. Hey, Pops.
History. North Korea taking Kim Jong-un.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I heard you a little under the weather.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Gotta kick that.
Yeah, I think I'll be much better tomorrow. So what are you guys doing?
Same thing we were doing last time, just a little more successfully. We're able to actually stream through. So we're recording this. It's actually being broadcasted and recorded at the same time. And we're all on here just talking.
Okay. So what's the topic right now?
Well, first
we haven't even picked the topic yet.
You're live on YouTube.
So how do I look?
You look fine. You just gotta watch what you say because you're on my channel. I can't have people thinking I'm against Trump.
Seriously? They have to think that you're a Trump supporter?
I don't know. I'm just joking. Okay. Remember, that is one of my ideas for a show that I want to do.
Well, I think a great idea for a show is a real apprentice. In other words, not an apprentice that fires people and tears people down, but somebody who helps people actually get a job, somebody who helps to build things up rather than destroy things. And if you guys see what's going on, he is the "you're fired" president, or he was a "you're fired" businessman.
The show you're talking about would be more like mentor. Instead of apprentice, would be like the mentor that comes in and helps. Kind of like, you ever watch that show, Bar Rescue, or Tabitha, the girl that comes in, the people with hair shops that are jacked up, and they fix them and show them how to run the place. That's kind of like how that can go. If you get somebody with enough money that has business savvy, they can come in and take a business and show somebody how to really run it. It doesn't have to be a bar.
Absolutely, but you know what an apprentice is. I don't know if you guys have ever been an apprentice, but I was an apprentice when I was with the IBEW 134. So what you do is you hang out with somebody that actually knows the job until you learn what they do, and then you're able to do the same job. But this guy, you don't learn anything from hanging out with him. You can either hang on for another week or you get fired. And he hurts your reputation because you're getting fired or you're getting maligned. Yeah. So I'm saying there's a different way to do an apprentice, and there's a lot of companies that actually need people. So you could have an opportunity for some company, whereas they can actually have a job that people are competing for, and you help the best candidate prepare for that position and move into it, and that can be a positive thing, and it could be a show worthy if you handle it appropriately.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean,
I don't have any viewers right now, but we might want to keep some of these ideas. We don't want to go too deep into detail with what our ideas would be for a show, because somebody might steal my stuff.
That's true.
I had wanted to just share really one thing, and we don't have to go too deep in on it, but I remember last time we talked, and you were talking about maybe getting some tribal history or whatever.
Yes.
It's funny because, right now at work, I can't go into detail because it's all secret stuff. We're discussing, Africa for a numerous numbers of reasons, right? So I'm researching some countries over there for work. And so one of the group of people that I'm researching are called the Fula people. And you've heard of the Fulani. Dabi. You ever see those guys, those tall, skinny guys? They paint their face up and they do a beauty contest to try to attract women. So the women pick the man. You've seen that probably like on Discovery. That's a very small subsection. It's like 40,000 of them, of a much larger group called the Fulani.
Okay.
And what I learned was interesting because I was reading, and what I'll do, I'll share my page real quick. If you look right here in the second paragraph, you talk about the Fulani. At first, you see there's roughly.
We can't see your page.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
How many computers you got, man?
I have the laptop and I have the screen, so I'm sharing the page on laptop. But if you look at the general information over here on the side, there's 20 to 25 million Fulani. And what I found interesting was a significant proportion of the Fula, a third of the estimated 7 to 8 million, are pastoralists. What does it say? Many Fulbe were taken captive to the Americas in the 16th and 19th century as part of the Atlantic slave trade, and they are largely captured from Senegal to Guinea, with a significant percentage also taken from Mali and Cameroon. Remember, mom's mother or grandma, the maternal lineage goes directly back to Cameroon.
Okay.
So look at how many are in Cameroon. There's 700,000 in Cameroon. But when you're talking about, I'll switch my page back right now. Let's go back to, yeah. So when you're talking about, the slave trade, a large amount of those people that came over, if you ever look at the features of Fulani people, we look like we're Fulani already. They look more like Ethiopians than they do, like, our quote unquote, when we start thinking about our more Congolese or more Bantu brethren, they're a little bit further south. What you find out is a lot of African Americans, we think, our red skin or our features come from intermixture. But as a matter of fact, if you go to Africa and you look at northern Nigeria, if you're looking at Guinea, Mali, Cameroon, all the places where the slaves were coming from, these people already they look like us already.
Yeah.
Right. So, you go back and they're gorgeous people. And what you find out, the whole people on that northern stretch of Sahara, these are all more Cushitic looking people. So they look more like Ethiopians, more like Somalis, from the east to the west. So if you're dealing with the Udabi, if you're dealing with the Fulani, if you're dealing with the Hausa tribes, they already look like they're African Americans.
Okay.
And a large proportion of the people, you also think about, they didn't take people, the tribes didn't steal people from their own tribe and sell them into slavery. They would sell people from the tribes that were inland. The Fula, the Fulani are inland tribes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of videos on YouTube also, they're talking, a lot of different Black people talking about, the connection between African Americans and Fulani. But then you also have Fulani language. People who teach Fulani language, people who teach Hausa language. It's interesting. So it's just funny. We talked about that last week. And since
heroes or
you had I forget that a Prince Among Slaves. I remember I had that documentary years ago. And that's actually about a Fulani guy who was a prince who was stolen into slavery. You had a lot of, it's just interesting because we have this very homogenous view of what Africans supposed to look like. When I'm adding the numbers up, this 1.2 billion. When I'm adding the numbers up, you're seeing this. It's a very, very, very diverse continent. And the other weird thing, I think I said this last time, but Wakanda and Rwanda. So I'm reading this book about Paul Kagame called 10,000 Hills. I'm reading about this guy named Stephen Kistner. And it starts off, he's talking about Rwanda. There were no Europeans that reached Rwanda until the late 1800s. So like 1896 is when they finally reached Rwanda. And he was talking about, this is way before the movie Black Panther came out. He was talking about it in such a fashion that they had this beautiful kingdom that nobody knew about. This is where his book opens up. And it was operating very well before I think it was the Dutch arrived there and kind of broke them down into tribes, and they had the tribes fight each other or put one tribe to rule over the other tribe until that tribe asked for independence, and then it switched sides, which caused all these mass killings. So again, it's just more proof that when they were talking about Wakanda in this movie Black Panther, they were actually talking about Rwanda. Rwanda, it looked like it was an exact same location on the map. It's in the middle of the country. It was in a mountainous region. Remember, they had the mountains, they had the waterfalls, and it was a kingdom that was kind of secret and kept to itself. And that's what they said about Rwanda. He was saying that about Rwanda, like it was a secret and kind of kept to itself until the 1890s. Because, a lot of the Europeans couldn't get into the continent because of disease and other reasons. And a lot of them were motivated much later.
Did they have any vibranium?
No, but they have all types of other minerals. So the vibranium was not
okay.
Thing, but
they would probably call it something else. Is there any mineral that is like a super strong metal that would give me magical powers?
Yeah.
I'm joking, man. I know what you're saying.
yeah, cold and other things. But It's really interesting. So we're talking about a group of people, 25 million strong. The full base is 25 million strong. The house is 38 million strong. These aren't little tribes, and these are the tribes that really fed the slave trade.
President Trump has.
Well, now they're not even living in those type of conditions. Right now, they're just like in the U.S. Right, they're same houses and everything. So,
yeah, I mean, some are living better than others. Some are wealthy, some aren't. Some are at war.
The same thing over here.
Yeah. So a large amount of poor. I think in northern Nigeria they run into issues with some of the other tribes because the Fula are still very nomadic. A lot, not all of them, like, but at least 7 to 8 million are nomadic. So they'll walk. They walk. They have a lot of cows, and they walk their cows through people's yards and shit like that. And people don't like that, you know. So
they don't have houses.
Well, 7 to 8 million of them, 7 or 8 million of them are still very the pastoralists. So they may have houses, but you know, if the land isn't good where they're at, they have to take the cows where the cows can graze.
Speaking of yards and walking through yards, did you guys hear about the young man that got shot 20 times?
Mm-mm.
I did hear it by the police, right? I heard something about it from a coworker today, but I didn't know what that happened in Chicago.
I'm not sure if it happened in Chicago, but this young guy, father of 2 kids, he had a wife, and you know, I guess he was living in his grandparents' house, and the way if the front door was locked, they would go around to the back. And he had a cell phone, and he got shot 20 times. I guess because the police got spooked, and they thought that his cell phone was a gun. So they just started pumping bullets into him.
That happened today?
No, it happened a couple of days ago. But these are still issues that we have to deal with. So, I mean, even if you have your own page or presence on the net, you sort of have to talk about some of the current events. So I'm not saying that anybody was wrong, but you know, the guy didn't do anything wrong. Maybe the way they had fixed it for them to get in and out of their house could have been bad, but you know, it could have been any one of our kids or grandkids or anything like that. So that was, I think, just a tragic situation where, you know, once again, some guy got executed.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. I didn't hear anything about that. I guess I haven't watched the news for the last couple of days anyway. I've been working and coming here and getting up early, getting to work, and
yeah. I mean, but it's cool. You don't have to necessarily hear about all of them, but
it's sad that there are all of them. It's sad that it's happening so much.
Well, what I think about when I hear about stuff like that is, suppose Antoine was coming home, and you know he don't have a gun, but you know somebody thought he had a gun and started pumping bullets into him, you know, or if Connor grew up a little bit and got, you know, 20 bullets in him, you know, you just, there's a way, I guess it maybe 1 bullet, maybe 2, you know, but I know these guys are going for the kill.
Yeah.
You know. So that was just a serious situation.
And we didn't know where it happened.
No, not presently, but I mean, it's going to be on the news, and of course, there's going to be some type of trial for the police because they're asking for some type of justice. But you know, will they really get justice? And then, you know, does justice really satisfy anything? You know, because they've actually lost somebody that was a family member that was contributing to society.
Yeah. Family, yeah, it was in Sacramento.
Sacramento?
Yeah. Stephen Clark's family. Stephen Clark was his name.
Okay.
I will have Mexico.
So, you know, normally what happens is they're trying to give somebody justice. And they're going to say, okay, well, the police were justified because they got scared.
I think we need some braver police.
This first month in the White House, President Trump surrendered to the president.
But then, like, if we get into some of these stories around some of these other cultures and bring some of those stories here, we can put our own slant on it and make it really interesting, because like we need some better stories to be told about all people, not just us, but all people.
None of the $20 billion says he needs to.
So what is this? What is this thing? Some type of
and now the president has
a piece of art from the inland Niger Delta region
he wants
in Mali. And it's a fragment of a seated figure from the year 1300 to 1600, somewhere in that time frame. So this is some art that some African made back in the year 1300.
You know what it was made of?
Looked like stone.
Stone. Okay. Could be stone, but
could be vibranium, man. Come on, use our imagination here.
Yeah.
I was here this weekend at the Ontario Gallery of Art. This was the African section.
Okay. And this piece, was that made around the same time?
Yep, about the year 1300. But they had, I mean, this art dating back further than that. And then I think the other interesting thing, this is some brothers talk. They were Ethiopian, and they were talking about some cave paintings. And this cave, I forgot the name of the cave, but it was from these cave paintings were 12,000 years old. So they had people writing on rocks 12,000 years ago in Ethiopia.
This looks like a mask, or it could be a mask.
This is also made of stone. The masks that's stone.
About citizenship to the 2020 census.
Okay.
That's stone. There were some masks too. They had some masks.
Edition of that question about citizenship last night.
That looks like, those look like some nice pieces. So how did you happen to come across those pieces?
Oh, these are in the museum.
What does it take?
He was out there, I guess, over the weekend, right?
Yeah. In a little bit of time, and this is good art, man. This is really interesting. This is probably Mali too, but I'm not sure. Let's see. That is Gabon. And there goes a throne. I think this is this throne is from Cameroon, Rotten. Once again, that's maybe here Cameroon. That's grandma's maternal lineage goes directly back to Cameroon.
Okay, what is that thing next to it? Is that like a sword or some type of weapon?
That's a staff.
A staff. Okay. And the staff was probably used as some type of piece to show authority.
Sensors so small,
yeah,
visible, designed to disappear.
It's out there. The language is still very fluent, so we can still learn the languages if you want to just learn how to count from 1 to 10, whatever else in these languages. I'm looking at some of the women that are teaching the language are beautiful. Like you wouldn't think, oh, they're from Nigeria or whatever else, but yeah. Nigeria is a very big country. It's like 193 million people, right? So
gotta be some hot ones.
It's a lot of hot ones.
Yeah,
a lot of hot ones.
Well, you guys are married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not looking for no new woman. I'm good.
Email marketing.
Okay.
I'm trying to make mine work right. That's all I need. If you get one and get it to work right.
Well, she's probably working right. You just haven't
Yeah.
found the groove to work her in.
No, let's not get too deep. She's working right.
That groove is whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, she's working right. It's just you know, every marriage, every person, they gotta find out that how to get that. And once you get that in your marriage, you're good. That's what every marriage you're gonna struggle with. That's all I mean by that. I don't mean nothing weird, nothing. Oh, look at my rings.
I want to show you guys one more thing.
She bought me this one from Cartier.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, that's not the right one. Share. This is I found the S9, right?
Yeah.
I took my picture. You know how they make you they make your own
yeah. What's it called? What's it called? Man.
Not icon.
That's you?
Avatar, yeah, it's supposed to be me.
Oh, you look just like Barack Obama.
Well, you get to pick your clothes. They just take your face.
Did you buy it? You bought that phone?
I didn't buy it. I just played with it in the Samsung store. Yeah, that's the clothes that had me in the original. I said, let me get the hell out of that. There we go.
Maybe when they come out with the Note 9, I'll pick it up. At that point, I'll probably get me and Terry a new phone.
The only thing different from the other one's not worth buying the S9 because they had that, and then they had the super slow mo.
Well, to be honest with you, you really have enough to create a story there. You know, when you think about the vibranium, and when they went to the museum, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff, but they had a few pieces that helped them to create this story. You know, because I guess this guy was saying, okay, what is this made of? And the guy was saying, okay, this is made of some type of rare stone. He said, no, made of something called vibranium. And, you know, even though it was old and may have had crust and other stuff over it, when you broke it down, it was broken down to its purest form, which was the vibranium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
smash it.
She had asked him, he said, oh, so where's this piece from? She said, oh, this is from Cameroon. He said, okay. He said, where's this piece from? Oh, this is from Nigeria during this period. He said, where's this piece from? She said, oh, this is from Mali. He was like, no, this is from Wakanda. He told it. He said, what do you mean? Like, how do you can get everything else?
Yeah.
He took a sip of coffee. And he was like, you've been watching me this whole time, and you haven't even been watching what they did to your drink. And she passed out.
Yeah. Hey, watch what you did to your body. What you put in your body.
Right. Good movie. Right.
Very good movie.
Yeah, a lot of good information put out in the movie. Not real information, but enough to get people interested to maybe do a little bit of research. And if it could do that much, yeah, there's a lot of more stories that we can tell. And a lot of them aren't all that complex. They don't have to be anything about race at all. But it's just all about how we display ourselves in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, what
full spectrum.
What they actually showed was that there's a different form of government that nobody really knew anything about because they really hadn't paid that much attention because it was an African country that, you know, they're talking about. So people say, well, this came from Africa, this came from here, this came from there. They really didn't have to know because they're looking at Africa as a continent and not the countries or the governments that they had. So when you have this stuff, then they could come from anything. And like remember Jim Carrey's The Mask?
Yeah.
This mask, when the guy, you know, put it on, changed this guy's personality. So you could have something like that mask, and it can seem like it's small, or it can seem like it's stone, but technically when you put it in a movie, you can show it as flexible, and it can actually develop a personality, and actually grab somebody. It sounds stupid.
I'm listening.
It doesn't sound stupid.
And you could create a story behind that or around that to so you'd be able to tell some type of story that would be, you know, in time, and maybe create some type of feeling or emotion around that one particular thing.
Yeah. That's good.
But that's just actually using your imagination, which you know that they use a lot of imagination when they talked about Wakanda, vibranium, and being able to sew this stuff into their clothes. And you know, you tell stories about the culture.
All right. So what do you think about this? This is something I've been thinking about for the last like 10 to 15 years, probably ever since I saw the first Lord of the Rings movie. I never really read the books because I thought the books were kind of boring. But when I actually saw the Lord of the Rings movie and saw how they had the Middle Earth, they had the dwarves, they had the elves, they had the men, they were all white, right? Yeah. So I was thinking, what if there was that same type of concept in Africa, from Africa, where, you know, there would, of course, it'd probably be the same thing. Might be some black elves.
We have religion. We call pygmies.
Pygmies would be the dwarves. Like, but that type of quest, that type of story where there was, I'm sure there was some people, even though there were tribes, some people that probably went in between the tribes. There were probably some wars and different things that they had going on, where maybe they had a quest.
Do you remember the Ewoks?
Yeah. Those are horrible movies. Those were, every time I saw an Ewok movie, it was just a bad movie.
You know, well, I still can't watch I can't watch the Lord of the Rings. It's too boring.
The movie itself, to me, was really good. It was a good movie. It's just it acts like there's only one type of people in Middle Earth from that fantasy land. Like there's no black people in fantasy.
Lord of the Rings was good, but I don't know. I'm not into fantasy like that. It's very few movies that I'll actually sit down and let them, you know, fantasy-wise, want to watch. I'm more of but it's all like you have to have those options still. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good idea. It'd be a great idea. Those type of movies are difficult to make because they involve a lot of
special effects. But if you do them right, they make a lot of money. If you get nerds to get into it, you are golden. That's if you make any movie and you get nerds that buy into it. They're the ones that are gonna spend most money on it because they'll follow it. They'll want to know everything about it. They want to know everything about all the actors. They want to know about all the different games. If there's a game involved, is there an Easter egg in the game they can fix? There's a movie coming out called Ready Player One. It'll be out, I think, early April. And that movie is about a video game world. So it's probably I'm hoping it's going to be a little more inclusive because, you know, there are black people in the world, different things like that. But it's going to be most of the game, I think, is like a first player game that people hook in, and then they're in this world and they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And searching for a Easter egg or something like that.
Well, the thing is, most movies contain some portions of fantasy, especially if they're about a period, different time, or something like that. How good you are with translating reality to the fantasy.
Yeah, because you have to make it interesting.
Right.
I mean, you get the basics of what happened, but you're never going to be 100% right. Even if you're doing a documentary, you're only getting somebody's opinion of the situation. You're never going to get it 100% right. So you have to have some imagination of how you want to tell the story or a message you want to tell.
Of course, Ms. Daniels fleshed out the story.
Absolutely.
With a disturbing
So
it's all fantasy, Antoine. It's all fantasy.
Right. Right.
I mean, there's a lot of story. You definitely want to leverage Africa. It's a huge market. So if you write a story that in some way, because you see, that was like Black Panther was the first African super. Now, wasn't the first black superhero per se, right? We had Blade, Lightning, Luke Cage, but it was the first African superhero, and that got a lot of Africans. And we're African, American, right? But
the black superheroes we had before, you said Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And Blade is kind of like the anti-hero. He was kind of the bad guy that kind of, I don't count him as a real superhero. Luke Cage, I don't remember what, is he the one that was on Netflix? Okay. Yeah, he seems pretty decent, but he seems like a regular guy. I mean, he just wants to be a regular guy.
Think about Captain America. You know, they're still trying to reach to make that thing sort of believable. And then was that Green Lantern?
Yeah, that one didn't go over so well. That one,
those all came up a little short.
Yeah, that one, Ant-Man came up a little short. A few of them they made weren't really big. And every movie you make, every superhero is not going to hit. But I think there's some things in Black Panther that we can pull out and focus on, like I said, the African aspect of it.
Yeah.
Or, and I watched a couple of things on YouTube, people talking about it, and this one white guy was saying something about it that he didn't like it, the fact that it was going to be all about black people and exclude white people, but it didn't. See, when something's about black people, it doesn't necessarily have to exclude white people. It doesn't have to exclude other races. There was an Asian person in there, Asian people, black people, white people. There's all different races. So I think that's something that if you can make a movie that is poignant to everybody, everybody has a part of it they can enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's key.
Absolutely.
But, hey guys, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta get ready to get some sleep because I gotta get up in the morning.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got you.
We figured this out. Now that we got this, we understand how this works. We can set something up and come up with a good topic and maybe get a good forum going and get a good. And now I'm starting to get better with understanding how to manipulate this thing too, so I could actually take somebody and broadcast them to everybody. So like I present a picture. So this is what everybody's going to see. I can set it to whoever's talking. Let's see, something like that. I can do different things. I can take people's voice and camera, turn it off. So it's kind of cool.
I'm not looking my best. So anyway, we can get together another time. And
right.
Want you guys to know I love you.
Love you too, Dad. Kick that cold. Kick it.
Yeah, I think
Drink plenty of fluids. Stay cool.
Okay. All right. You guys take care, okay?
You too. Love you guys.
All right, bye-bye.